Hey y'all. Told you in my last video I'm going to be doing a video now on something called an access agent. Nobody I've heard ever on the internet is even talking about this or even knows what this is. There's a guy named Kyle Kowinski. He does secular talk. I wish he would see my video and get on this too, because this is very important. This is what Jeffrey Epstein actually was. He was not an intelligence officer. He was not an intelligence officer. He was an access agent, and he worked with multiple intelligence agencies from around the world. Probably just about most of them. But Epstein is an access agent of multiple intelligence agencies, including those of Israel. Now, let me tell you, an access agent is someone who develops close relationships with powerful, influential people to gather intelligence or facilitate other intelligence operations, often without those influential people knowing they are being used. So these people are used as like hook. They'll hook the bait. They'll go out and they'll mingle with this party and meet this person to meet this person to meet that person up there, to eventually meet the powerful person, to become friends, and then make connections between them and the actual intelligence officers to connect them to connect the two. Now, many people familiar with Robert Maxwell say Epstein would work with him to funnel information in and guarantee protection. And all the wealth Epstein gained over time, yes, and that's where he got his wealth, from doing that with Robert Maxwell. Then as he was doing it, he met so many other people and started meeting so many Robert Maxwells that he just became a fucking millionaire. Then he got so deep in it, he couldn't get out. He kept connecting and connecting and connecting, and once he's known to connect, he's blackmailed too. You don't hook me up with this, I can tell you done this with so-so. But once you're in conspiracies and blackmail, you can't get out, and you're not safe, nobody's safe. Everyone can be blackmailed during blackmail. Robert Maxwell died in 1991, and many say Epstein had met Ghislaine Maxwell a few years earlier. By 1992, Ghislaine was managing Epstein's Palm Beach estate, and by 1994, she was assisting him in the abuse of minors. It only took her 2 years. You know, she seems like maybe an access agent too. Look how she worked her way into Epstein. You never know. You can't trust people. You can't trust these intelligence stuff. Access agents are not the primary spy and aren't directly collecting the sensitive information or the one doing the espionage. Their primary role is to open doors and facilitate introductions. They leverage their existing network of contacts, social standing, or professional connections to introduce intelligence officers to people who possess valuable information or who are in the position of power and influence. Like Donald Trump and everybody around him. Don't you think that'd be a good connection just to get in the door with that one man and get everybody around him? And you've already got ever so many other more important people. But when Donald Trump becomes president, he is the most important person. The president is the most important person. So it's awfully fucking funny that when Donald Trump became president and they prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein, he killed himself in prison with time missing off of the film. Then here recently they want to lie and say that that's normal in jail security. Minutes just missing. There was over 3 minutes missing, not just one, and we can tell by the metadata that it was removed. The first video was not even of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. It was of from another fucking prison. They are covering this up. The problem is, the people who are covering it up are the only people who can release it. Until we get somebody else in there, maybe 2026, Democrats get in there and maybe do some investigations or something, I don't know, in Congress. But something's going to have to be let out, and they're going to have to they're not just going to let it out with how it is, because it's going to tell on everybody, and they're not the people that would do that. Access agents might be used to identify or spot potential recruits for an intelligence service. They might introduce a target to a case officer, allowing the officer to begin the process of cultivating and eventually recruiting that individual as a full-fledged spy. A full-fledged spy. So not only was Jeffrey Epstein out there meeting people, getting them in with the child sex shit, because all these rich people think they're on another level anyway. That's a big problem. They think it's okay for them to fuck kids because they have money and they can pay them. They can give them money. They can help them. Access agents can provide a cover and plausibility for an intelligence officer to interact with a target. Access agents can be considered an unwitting or a witting agent, meaning some agents aren't aware of the situation they are in, and sometimes they do. With Epstein, the access agent idea often implies an unwitting, or at least semi-witting, role where he might not have been a traditional spy, but rather someone whose activities inadvertently or intentionally served an intelligence purpose. Here's where I believe Epstein served his main role. Blackmail access agent. Blackmail access agent. Blackmail access agent. People should be saying this shit all over the internet, because this right here is exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was. Blackmail access agent. Put this shit out there, people. Make videos about this. Hashtag it. Say it. Let people know what this is, because this is what he is. This is American people doing the investigating and getting down to it, because our officials that we elected will not do it for us. But yes, he is a blackmail access agent. Last time. That was his main role. They aren't used for direct recruitment, but mainly for gathering compromising information that could be used to blackmail or to exert influence over powerful individuals, thereby serving intelligence objectives. In essence, a blackmail access agent acts as a bridge to an intelligence service to get closer to its targets, whether for direct information gathering, recruitment, or influence operations. So you're telling me that Donald Trump hooked up with all these young girls, was with Jeffrey Epstein for 10 or 15 years on his plane, fucked Melania for the first time on there. So he was doing some fucking on that plane. That right there proves it. We got to think about that. First time he ever fucked Melania was on the Lolita Express with Jeffrey Epstein. So that is not, I guarantee you, that is not the first time Donald Trump fucked somebody on that plane. But you're telling me that he ran around with Jeffrey Epstein that long, and there is evidence out there of him with young girls. There's pictures. There is a actual biography that talks about a lot about some stuff. And these girls were young. They weren't 17, 18, whatever. They were 13, 14. And Donald Trump had this one picture where everybody's seen it already, but it was these two young girls, 13 or 14, maybe 15, which sounds sick as fuck. You have to even, say maybe 15. Maybe she was 15 at the most. But they were with Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, and they were standing up and they were laughing and pointing at Donald Trump's crotch because he had a wet stain on there, and it looked like, honestly, they had made him cum in his pants or some shit. I don't know, but the young girls who were maybe at the most 15, I mean at the most, I'm thinking one was 13, but they were standing there just pointing at his crotch. And he was just standing there laughing and standing beside Epstein, about his best friend. But everybody, if anybody is watching this that makes their own YouTube videos, please look up Blackmail access agent, because that is exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was. And we need to get it out there. Once we find this clue, we might find another one. But please remember to like and comment. Let me know what you think about the videos. Let me know what you think. And share them. Follow me if you like the content, and check back for more.